We use media every day, when we're with our friends, for all of our classes and doing homework, when we're just walking to class and listening to music, or sitting and scrolling through social media. What would it be like to go a day without?
I found my experience without media to be challenging just because the way our society is set up today, everything's worked through networking and through media, and pretty much every aspect of our lives are incorporated into that.
I would say it wasn't easy, for sure.
My experience without media was very difficult because whether you realize it or not, media affects every step of your day, from when you wake up to go to bed. And in class, for example, it was very hard not to use my laptop or my phone.
Staying connected and up to date on what's going on around us, specifically on campus and off campus, really is affected by if we use our phones or if we use the internet or not.
I use my phone for streaming music, and when I want to zone out, I go on social media and everything, and not being able to stream music was really hard for me because I needed to concentrate and everything. So I would try and find other ways to distract myself by going to Starbucks and having that steady noise in the background.
So I actually gave myself a pass that in class I allowed myself to use my laptop just to take notes, but even with that, as an exception, I found myself feeling really disconnected from the world. I couldn't text my friends, I couldn't text my family.
And the hardest thing was not being able to call my family or my friends because I always like to keep in touch with them. And I had this fear that I wouldn't be keeping up with our friendships if I didn't reach out to them, even though it was one day.
Walking around, I was able to have more in-depth conversations with the people I walked by, which was nice.
I was able to take in my surroundings more, for example, how beautiful the campus is and everything.
I started to notice my surroundings a lot more, and I actually took the time today to realize what was going on around me.
So my roommate and I both did our day without media at the same time because we're both in the class, and we were able to just converse with each other a lot better, and we had some really nice conversations because neither of us were on our laptops or on our phones, and that was just really nice.
When I use my media, I don't really understand the world around me on a day-to-day basis, and I don't really acknowledge what's going on.
And I was also able to find new ways to entertain myself, which is both a good and a bad thing. I wasn't stuck to my laptop watching Netflix or YouTube or anything like that, and I started reading more, which I haven't done since elementary school.
I also was able to be more productive with my homework and everything because I wasn't checking my phone all the time.
Some negatives of this experience was that I was very disconnected. A lot of my friends are affected by the fires up in NorCal, and I couldn't get all the advisory warnings that they were experiencing, and just in general, even if nothing bad was happening, I felt very disconnected from my family because I couldn't talk to them at all, and I couldn't stay updated with their lives or my friends' lives.
I felt kind of far away from my family and my friends back at home. I always reach out to them, almost every day I talk to them just to see how they're doing, to keep up our friendships, and it was weird not doing that, and I thought maybe they would think something was wrong.
I felt like I was kind of being left out, especially in group situations where others had their media, their phones, and I was just kind of sitting there without it.
Everyone else around me was using their media, so it's really hard to be the single one out. I realized that it can be very important to be connected with your media in case of emergency. For example, we had an emergency alert on Friday at school, and if I didn't have my media, I wouldn't have been able to know about it.
I think in general, media is pretty necessary because we use it in pretty much all aspects of our lives, not only in work, but when in leisure time. So it's just a very good source of entertainment, and it can also spread information a lot. It's just really good at keeping people updated in general, and it's just a good way of staying connected with your friends and family if you're not directly around them.
Media is pretty necessary in today's world just because there is so much media in our daily lives. The fact that everyone uses it, and it is really in all aspects, education, social life, and even more, is kind of impossible to kind of separate yourself from that.
I think it's necessary to have because everyone has it, and if you don't have it, then you're kind of missing out on certain updates, current events. For example, like it was necessary to have like when the shooting happened last week and when the fire started. But I also think that while we should have it, we don't always need to use it. If we're with our friends or with our family and kind of like in a safe place and just enjoying what's around us, then I don't think we need to be using it at that time.
Media is great and can be useful for so many things. But sometimes it's nice to just put it down and talk with friends and laugh and get to know people. Or walk around and take in everything that's around you and all the beauty of the world.